Alright, so I signed up for a debate on Saturday, I believe. I need to check the timing of it. And, of course, I'm completely unprepared, and I've chosen to counter the notion, a notion that I actually agree with. So it's going to be very tricky for my first debate, and it's also, I think it's against one of the guys who came third in the debate competition. So I'm going to have my work cut out, for certain. So I may as well practice it right now. The topic is that people who work in sweatshops in the third world mainly benefit, well, actually entirely benefit everyone in society, including themselves. Now, I kind of agree with this first, but I'm sure I can find some emotional arguments or something else to counteract the point. So initially, I'd just say that someone who is working in a sweatshop is earning money for them and their families, and I think clearly you'd have to say that it's preferable for them to work for the amount of money that they get paid than not to work at all. Now, or work somewhere else where they get paid less money. So, I mean, you'd think that, all things being equal, that if they could get a better job with better pay and better working conditions, then they would. And since they are not doing that, the very best option that they could choose in the moment, it's their number one preference in terms of working conditions that are possible for them, and therefore it's a benefit to them. It's their choice. They could choose to do otherwise, and they don't. And obviously then there's the whole economic argument of, if someone is working for cheap, you know, like it's very cheap labour over there, then it's going to benefit us in the West because we can get things for cheaper as well. So you have the person getting paid for doing this job that they don't want to do, but it's better than anything else in terms of them perhaps not having a job to do and not being able to earn any money. And it's good for us in other parts of the world, you know, the consumers, because the consumers are able to buy things for a reduced price than if they had to be manufactured and produced within our own countries, because obviously wages are higher, standards of living are higher, and everything else in terms of pricing is higher in the West. So that's okay. But that is all predicated upon the notion that these women in the sweatshops, who are working in the sweatshops, have a choice to do otherwise, or let's put it another way, their number one preference is to do the job that they're doing. Now, of course, it seems almost tautological that someone is doing something, then it's their preference. But let's take it another way. We could go down the slavery route. I think one angle might be to pretend that these women who are working are tricked. You know, we all do things that we don't necessarily like or want to do because of emotional constraints. And anxieties might be at play that make these women behave irrationally and choose jobs that won't actually benefit them. So, for example, people hunting huge wages in the West aren't necessarily the happiest. and people working in sweatshops might have greater levels of income, but that doesn't necessarily mean that their lives are being enhanced because of it. And so the argument could go that these sweatshops and capitalism in general has managed to persuade these people to work in these horrible conditions for not fantastic money, when really they could be doing something else for a less amount of money that they'd enjoy a lot more, and they'd get to spend a lot more time with their family, etc. So that's one potential argument. Kind of the post-scarcity argument is probably one that could use. Another one might be benefiting people in the West. So that'd be something like making the argument that we could actually produce things of better quality.